Ptolemy, Episode 6 of The Last Daws of Ptolemy Gray returns to the past as we see Ptolemy watching in horror as hungry flames lick up the side of a large building. Inside the fire happens to be Maude Petite, and her mother screams that her baby is inside. Ptolemy scrambles forward, turning into the old man once more during this dream sequence. He scoops her up and takes her out, pointing out that she's safe now. What does Ptolemy do before meeting Alfred? Fast forward to the present and Ptolemy stumbles out from the bedroom. He discusses with Robin how his mind is starting to frazzle, going on to mention the fire but sidestepping around Maude's death. He doesn't dwell on it. However, he soon answers the phone to Shirley, agreeing to go for lunch with her. This is cutting it fine with meeting Alfred though, so he decides to delay it by a day. Bye Shirley, Ptolemy says to himself, which almost feels like an acknowledgement of his condition starting to rear its ugly head. Robin heads out with Roger for the afternoon, while Ptolemy fills his morning up with some art at the local gallery. This really does feel like the beginning of the end, with Ptolemy soaking in the sights and sounds after being driven around by Hernandez. After dropping him off, he encourages Hernandez to stick around and blow the horn 5 minutes after Alfred has been inside. Who killed Reggie? Dressed in that familiar purple suit, Ptolemy grabs his gun and the tape recorder, returning to those moments at the start of Season 1. After leaving Robin a message, Alfred shows up, sitting opposite Ptolemy and taking a swig from the bottle. Ptolemy challenges him, pointing out nonchalantly that there could be poison in the whiskey. That is, until Ptolemy takes a sip himself, demanding the truth about Reggie. The thing is, the tape recorder is still running as Ptolemy promises 2 coins every month in exchange for the truth. And bang, there it is. Alfred admits that he killed Reggie, including taking Reggie's wife and destroying his life. When Ptolemy brandishes his gun, Alfred charges at him, prompting the old man to fire. Moments involving Sencha echo back in this moment, as he sees all the ghosts from the past in that hallway as Alfred staggers outside, clutching his bloody stomach. The carnage spills into the street. Alfred collapses, that familiar woman from across the street robs him of his jewelry, while police soon show and force Ptolemy to drop his gun. 6 months later, in doing so, we cut forward 6 months. Ptolemy Gray awakens in a psychiatric hospital, chuckling that he's beaten the devil. All the old faces are there, including Coy Dog and Reggie, who show up in ghostly forms. In his absence, Ptolemy's family gathers and begin to question Ptolemy Gray's final wishes. Robin is called out for potentially perverting the system, given her closeness with Ptolemy, but there's a video message from a very stable Ptolemy to combat against all of their concerns. On camera for all to see, he confirms Robin is the one he wants in charge of the money, and that he's sane of mind. There's also a little jab at Hilly here too, pointing out he's set aside some money for when he goes to prison. Why does Ptolemy think he saved Maude from the fire? Robin has no intention of having this much money, contemplating putting it all into a trust fund. After the hearing, she heads in to see Ptolemy, who's deteriorating fast. He's erratic, constantly mentioning the devil, and also how he saved Maude. But how? Well, Ptolemy's memory of her death has been eating away at him for a while, and after all these years of torment, Maude is now safe, having swallowed up the flames that burned her. A further flashback to Coy Dog reinforcing the positive message that Maude is smiling back at him somewhere ends this series. Does Alfred die? Yes, Alfred dies in hospital after the fatal gunshot. Moish manages to convince the police not to arrest Ptolemy right away, hence why he's in hospital. Moish managed to obtain a paper to delay the arrest, wanting to wait until Ptolemy is better before taking him away. The irony here is that we know Ptolemy probably never will, so he's unlikely to be charged and put behind bars. So the last days of Ptolemy Gray ends with the final chapter not quite serving as the tearjerker it could have been. Having not read the book, I can't comment how accurate this story has been adapted, but it almost feels like the quaint, reflective ending could have been more emotional, akin to something like Big Fish had the writers decided to go that route. However, Samuel L. Jackson has been fantastic in this role, and the show has done an excellent job developing his character and producing a really solid character-driven journey for him to ease into. The exploration of the elderly and our attitudes toward mental health are both themes that have been examined under close scrutiny here, and the show has done a pretty good job at this. The last days of Ptolemy Gray could have done with some tightening up around the middle, but beyond that, this has been a thoroughly enjoyable drama and well worth a watch. The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray is one of those shows that's as much about the journey as it is the destination. Mental health and care for the elderly have been very important topics recently, for obvious reasons, thanks to a certain virus doing the rounds. And Alfred's latest drama tackles both of those head on. With an inspired and mesmerizing performance from Samuel L. Jackson, this 6-episode series dives into the past, while Ptolemy wrestles with his present, ever worried about the looming threat the future may hold. The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray is a series adapted from the book of the same name. The protagonist of this tale is dementia-riddled Ptolemy Gray, who's assigned to the care of orphan teen Robin. When they both learn about a treatment that will help Ptolemy's memories return, Gray jumps at the opportunity. With the death of his previous carer, Reggie, hanging heavy over him, Ptolemy works to uncover the shocking truth about his past and what happened to his carer. As he does, memories of the past come flooding back, shedding light on Ptolemy's troubled life and what's led him to the place he's ended up. Despite the middle portion of episodes sagging a little and slowing to a crawl, the start and end of this show perfectly captures the essence of what Apple's drama is trying to achieve. There are some beautiful scenes in here, typified by the bond between Robin and Ptolemy Gray, which develops and grows across the course of the season. This is ultimately the driving force for the whole show, and although there is a hint of a murder mystery coming into effect early on, that soon dissipates, wrapped up quickly in favor of focusing on Ptolemy Gray and his life. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, and to be honest, the show is at its strongest when it slows the pacing down and just focuses on Robin and Ptolemy together. The moments this doesn't work stems from moments that feel at odds with Ptolemy's mission to catch Reggie's potential killer. Aside from that, the series does a wonderful job with its characters. Much praise needs to be given to Samuel L. Jackson, though, whose portrayal of Ptolemy Gray is nothing short of magnificent. If he doesn't get nominated for some awards for his performance, I'd be shocked. The first episode in particular is such a revelation, seeing Jackson as a frail, vulnerable old man, and doing so with enough empathy to really reel you in and understand the journey he's taking. It's here where the show's themes harmonically join the story, with commentary that's sure to resonate with many people. As someone who watched their nan deteriorate from a strong and jovial old lady to a frail, confused, dementia-riddled shell of a person, anyone who has had similar experiences are going to resonate with this. The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray is relatively straightforward in the manner it presents its ideas, but the way these are showcased, coupled with the budding relationship between Robin and Ptolemy, is ultimately why this show works as well as it does. Accompanied by a cultural brushstroke painting life in America, Ptolemy Gray is a solid drama that's well worth checking out.